What's up, everybody? So, we're back today with Political Parrot, talking about political correctness, specifically on college campuses. Now, this is kind of a difficult topic, so I just wanted to tell a story that originally sparked my interest in this. And some of you, politically, informed, might know the conservative commentator Ben Shapiro, who worked at Breitbart, worked at the Daily Wire, commentator on a bunch of other different topics. He was scheduled to give a talk at California State University LA campus, CSULA, and eventually was before speaking he was banned from the campus.
I've been told by campus police that it is literally a threat to life and limb to go out there. I've been told that they can't personally guarantee my security or any of your securities if you go out there right now. Well, not fine with me, because I don't want to see anybody get hurt or killed out there, particularly not the good guys. So, if that's the case, here's what's going to happen. I actually have to take a secret way out, seriously, with police escort. This is America.
He decided to attend the talk anyway, under protest.
Offend somebody.
Offend. And it's important to note that Shapiro is not an extremist by any means. He's actually fairly moderate on a lot of issues. He's no Rush Limbaugh. He's pretty, level-headed. So it kind of got me thinking about how, I've seen these stories like over and over again. Comedians such as Jerry Seinfeld have gone on record saying that they refuse to perform on college campuses because the student base is way too
so offended,
thin-skinned that they can't really perform. Last year at Missouri University, you had these protests with safe spaces that you can't bring up an opposing idea in
the safe space.
Yeah, the free speech zones or whatever. And then
how does saying no, you can't bring up this topic because this is a free speech zone, how does that make any sense?
It's crazy.
Exactly.
And and then I see stories like a student at Syracuse University banned from campus for a Facebook post expressing his views, and I see these stories over and over again, and it just seems to me to be I just write it off as ignorance. The media just blowing out of proportion. But then this CSULA event was kind of the tipping point, because this isn't just like a radical group on campus or a lone individual. This is the president of the school, and the threats were made to Ben Shapiro by staff at the school. And I just feel like if this was a conservative group threatening liberals, it would not have played out the same way.
Exactly.
So so that kind of brings me to the next point, is that this whole political correctness attitude,
it's kind of a plague,
it's really more of a liberal, seems to be focused more on the liberal side of the political spectrum.
Yeah.
And I mean, you see it a little bit with at the Trump rallies, they don't they kick out anyone who decides to protest, but
that's not as much political correctness, because he's not all worried about that. That's just him. That's just not wanting opposing views. It's not anything to do with he thinks it's just no. If that makes any sense.
And it's troubling because this country was founded on principles of freedom of press, freedom of speech. And these safe spaces, the protests, the trigger warnings, they all kind of go against that. How you can't you can't just, it's, you can't just say whatever you want, but, it's, don't get me wrong, you should, if someone is being legitimately racist, or legitimately bigoted, or homophobic, call them out on it. But when someone's making, a comedian, it's his job to make a lighthearted joke. It's the boy who cried wolf,
Yep.
You say it too much, and no one believes you anymore. the word racist, like back in the 90s or whatever, had this, really terrible, like it was a, career destroying
Yeah, exactly.
term. Like it wasn't, but since then it's been thrown around so loosely that it carries no weight anymore.
Exactly.
So, this is an issue that's mostly centered around college campuses.
Yeah. Because it's really not it can't really be as big of a deal anywhere else.
And
if that makes any sense.
And that's the worst part of it, is that, you have these college students that are being coddled. And, for me, I think college is supposed to be a place of, learning, education, exposing yourself to new ideas.
Yeah, getting out of your comfort zone.
Right.
Because if you just, when you're in high school, you're coddled and you're protected because you're a child.
Right.
You might not be a child when you're in 11th, 12th grade, but you're still a child.
Right.
And then when you get to college, you're supposed to have to just, there's going to be people that don't like your views or that don't agree with you, but you're supposed to learn how to deal with it and, adapt to it. And if you don't do that, then whenever you get into the workforce, then that's just going to...
that, exactly. It's, once we're raising, this generation of graduates is just going to be completely unprepared for the real world, because...
Exactly.
The workplace is, you're not going to get a safe space. You're going to be fired if that's really the case. So... even, President Obama, who is fairly liberal, just a couple weeks ago spoke out against this.
Exactly.
One thing I do want to point out is it's not just sometimes folks who are mad that colleges are too liberal that have a problem. Sometimes, there are folks on college campuses who are liberal and maybe even agree with me on a bunch of issues, who sometimes aren't listening to the other side. And that's a problem, too. I was just talking to a friend of mine about this. I've heard some college campuses where they don't want to have a guest speaker who, is too conservative. Or they don't want to read a book if it has language that is offensive to African Americans, or somehow sends a demeaning signal towards women. And, I got to tell you, I don't agree with that either.
I'd encourage our audience to not fall into it, consider both points of the argument, all sides of the debate. Don't let yourself fall into the trap.
Exactly.
It's not hard to expose yourself to new ideas. Just be open-minded.
Just got to be ready, be open-minded, kind of accept it. Exactly. Well, next topic will be talking about government surveillance.
Cool.
All right.